Last week, we brought you the hilarious story of US Daily Wire conservative commentator Matt Walsh's tongue-in-cheek takedown of Australia and the reality TV show Alone. Here's a quick reminder. His assessment is based on a comparison of the American version of a reality TV show called Alone and the Australian version of the same show. Matt says that the American version's been going for 10 years and involves a bunch of trained survivalists being thrown into the jungle and being required to survive alone with just a camera to film themselves on. Last one surviving wins. Matt stumbled on the new Aussie version of the show and he thought it'd be great.
First of all, surviving in Australia would be pretty tough, you'd think. Like Australia is a dangerous place. And I also thought Australians are a hardy people. You know, I bet they could survive for months without tapping out. Usually on the American version, you know, the winner survives 90 days, maybe at most, 100 days at most. I thought Australians, like they could, this show will go on for 6 years and they won't tap out. I mean, this will be really interesting. But my opinion of Australia, I'm just being honest with you, my opinion of Australians has just plummeted. Like before COVID, I thought that Australia was, first of all, an absolute hellscape where poisonous spiders rain from the sky. That part is true, but then I further thought that because of that, anyone who lives there, these have to be like the toughest sons of on the planet. I really thought, I thought it was just I thought it was a whole country of Steve Irwins. That's what I thought. And from COVID and now ending with this, I'm like, how is Australia the weakest, wokest, lamest country on earth? How is that possible?
Matt Walsh on the Daily Wire a week or so ago. Now, if you know anything at all about Matt Walsh's humour and his entire shtick, you know that his deadpan serious delivery belies a hugely ironic piss take at modern woke culture. Unfortunately, a lot of the Aussie mainstream media don't get the humour. News.com reporter Ali Foster wrote, American podcaster brands Australia lamest country on earth in bizarre rant. An American podcaster has branded Australia lame and weak after going on an emotional anti-woke rant online. Yep, missing the joke completely. The intrepid News.com reporter Ali Foster decided to then do a classic woke sense of humour free millennial hit piece on Matt Walsh. Writing breathlessly, Matt Walsh is a right-wing commentator whose favourite pastime is getting his knickers in a knot about people being woke and then whinging about it on the internet. Walsh is known for spewing a strong anti-transgender and anti-LGBTQ plus rhetoric. His 2022 film, What is a Woman, was heavily criticised by transgender groups and activists. In February 2023, he claimed he would rather be dead than have one of his children come out as transgender. Walsh has openly stated that same-sex couples should not be allowed to adopt children. Yeah, Ali, he's a conservative Catholic, and that's his point of view. What has that got to do with this story about his rant on the woeful state of Aussie woke reality TV? Trashy journalism, Petal, trashy stuff. This has all made Matt again rightly wonder what the heck is going on down here. And he addressed it again on his show this week. And I really hope the dopey mainstream media in Australia this time realise he is joking. Trigger warning before I play the clip. His deadpan humour style is at play again here. This is irony and comedy. Remember that? It's so sad that Aussie culture now requires jokes to be explained to death so that sad loser woke people like these Gen Y journalists don't get offended. We used to be the nation of the piss take joke. Now we've got to explain to Americans and we've got to have Americans explain to us what sarcasm is. It used to be the other way around. We invented the drop bear story, for God's sake. What has happened to us, Australia? Over to you, Mr. Walsh.
I didn't realize that my comments about Australia would cause such heartache in the country of Australia. I didn't realize that you guys care so much about what I think of you. The fact that there have been multiple headlines in Australia media about my comments on Australia is surprising to me and also incredibly pathetic, especially because you'd think that there's plenty of other things happening in Australia that you'd be paying attention to. instead of paying attention to me?
Indeed, there is. Matt Walsh went on to say that he knows so much about Aussie culture.
And I say this as someone who, again, always liked Australia, at least from afar. I was a big fan of Steve Irwin. I love the Bloomin' Onion from Outback Steakhouse. So I know a lot about Australian culture. I'm really steeped in Australian culture. And that's why it pains me to see what it has become. So here's what I'll say. And this is the last thing I'll say about Australia for now. And I think, and I'm not, I'm not backtracking. I'm not one to apologize, but I do want to make in a certain sense, I want to make amends with Australia. And I don't want, you guys are fragile enough down there. I don't want to cause any more pain and heartache for you. So I think there's only one solution. This is kind of my compromise. I think Australia needs to be invaded. For its own sake, we need to invade Australia and conquer it. And based on what I've seen, that'll only take about 3 or 4 hours, and the whole job will be done. And what we'll do, this is my proposal, just my proposal, is we'll round up all the woke, lame Australians, and we will drive them inland to the interior, and we'll set up like a reservation for them that they can live on. And then the cool Australians will be liberated, and we'll send them to go, live in New Zealand, which is basically Australia, but colder. It's like Australia refrigerated or something, from what I understand. And they can live there because nobody's in New Zealand right now anyway.
Nobody's in New Zealand right now. Oh, God. Oh, that is freaking comedy gold. Brilliant stuff. It gets better, though.
And then you're saying, well, what do we do with the rest of the Australian continent? My suggestion is that we get back to Australia's roots. We convert it back to a prison colony. And we'll start shipping our prisoners to Australia and, put it to use. Because that was Australia's heyday. That was Australia in its prime, is when it was just where you had shiploads of criminals, you dropped them off on the shore of Australia, and you say, good luck, we'll see you never. And then you sail away. And I think that's what we should do. It's kind of a do-over sort of situation, a reset. I'm not going to say a great reset, but it's a reset for Australia.
But wait, there's more.
And level all the cities. We'll destroy the cities. And we'll do that safely. I'm not advocating that we harm anybody. We clear everybody out first. We make sure we do. And then we level all the cities and send the woke ones to a reservation in the desert, ship the other ones to New Zealand, and then we start sending our prisoners there. That's my plan. That's how we fix this thing. And that's how much I care. I care about Australia so much that I'm willing for it to be conquered in order to fix it. And the great thing is that we all know, based on recent history, that when America conquers a country, it fixes everything. It makes everything better. And I'd like to see that for all of you down in Australia.
Really hope you enjoyed that content. There's a lot more where that came from, and it's available right here on YouTube. So do check it out. The Other Side with me, Damien Khoury, your weekly summary news show, every Friday night dropping at 8 p.m. Also, we have lots of clips that come out during the week, so please subscribe. Press that little bell when you do subscribe. You can subscribe down there, you can subscribe up here, and we also have our full shows right here.